The Life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Episode 3, The First Believers and the Secret Mission. In the quiet aftermath of the first revelation, a new chapter in human history began, one that would change the world forever. The message had come, the truth had been revealed to Muhammad, but now came a moment of great wisdom and patience. This message, powerful and transformative, would not begin with crowds or public declarations. Instead, it would begin quietly, in the hearts of a few. The very first person to believe was the one who knew him better than anyone else, his beloved wife, Khadijah, bint Khuwaylid. She had witnessed his honesty, his integrity, and his gentle character throughout the years. When he returned from the cave, shaken and overwhelmed, she did not doubt him for a moment. With calm certainty, she reassured him, supported him, and accepted the truth he brought. Her faith was immediate and unwavering. With her belief, the foundation of Islam was strengthened. In a time of fear and uncertainty, she became a source of comfort, strength, and unwavering support. Her role was not just of a believer, but of a pillar upon which the early mission stood firm. Soon after, another soul would embrace this truth, a young boy living in the household of the Prophet, Ali ibn Abi Talib. He was still a child, yet his heart was pure and perceptive. He observed closely as the Prophet prayed and spoke of one God. When invited to Islam, he did not respond impulsively. Instead, he reflected deeply. Then, with clarity and courage, he accepted the message. He became the first young person to embrace Islam, a sign that truth is not bound by age, but by sincerity. Not long after, the message reached a man whose name would become forever linked with loyalty and truth. Abu Bakr al-Siddiq. A close friend of the Prophet, known for his wisdom, honesty, and noble character. When he heard the message, he did not hesitate. There were no doubts, no debates. He simply believed. His acceptance of Islam marked a turning point, because unlike others, Abu Bakr did not keep the truth to himself. With care and wisdom, he began inviting others, those he trusted, those whose hearts were open. Through him, some of the most important figures in Islamic history would enter Islam. Uthman ibn Affan, a man known for his generosity and modesty. Zubair ibn al-Awwam, a courageous young man of strength and conviction. Abd al-Rahman ibn Auf, a successful Vyapari with a generous heart. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, who would later become one of Islam's great warriors. And Talha ibn Ubaidullah, known for his bravery and loyalty. These individuals were among the earliest believers, people of character, integrity, and influence, yet at that time they shared one thing in common. They believed in secret, because the society around them was not ready. In Mecca, power was held by the leaders of Quraysh. Their authority was deeply tied to idol worship, tribal pride, and social hierarchy. The message of Islam, calling for equality, justice, and the worship of one God, threatened everything they stood for. And so, wisdom dictated patience. The early Muslims were instructed to keep their faith hidden, to grow quietly, to strengthen themselves spiritually before facing the storm that would inevitably come. To support this, a place was chosen, a house that would become the heart of the early Islamic movement, Dar al-Arqam. Hidden from the eyes of society, this house became a sanctuary, a place where believers gathered in secret, away from hostility and danger. There, the Prophet taught them the words of the Quran. They listened with hearts wide open. They learned about faith, patience, and trust in Allah. Many would weep as the verses were recited,
because they felt something they had never felt before: purpose, clarity, peace. These gatherings were not just lessons, they were transformations. A small group of individuals was being shaped into something extraordinary. Outside those walls, life in Mecca continued as it always had. The Kaaba remained surrounded by idols. Injustice and inequality persisted. The powerful remained comfortable, unaware of the quiet revolution unfolding among them. But change had already begun. It lived in the hearts of those believers. They were few in number, and they had no worldly power, no armies, no protection, yet what they carried was far greater than any material strength. They carried truth, and with it they carried a responsibility. They prayed in secrecy, they spoke in whispers, they moved carefully through a society that would not hesitate to reject them if their beliefs were exposed. But despite the fear, their faith continued to grow, because once a heart recognizes truth, it cannot turn away from it. This was the beginning of the secret mission, a phase defined by patience, wisdom, and quiet strength. It was a time of preparation where faith was nurtured, character was built, and believers were tested in silence before facing trials in the open. From this small group, a movement would rise, a movement that would spread beyond Mecca, beyond Arabia, and across the world. But for now, it remained hidden, like a seed beneath the soil, growing, unseen, until the time would come for it to rise.